If you're someone who loves the idea of having a luxury holiday in Milan, but the costs or choices feel overwhelming, then I have some good news for you. I visited Milan multiple times, and I've discovered the best places and things to do without spending like a celebrity or figuring it all out yourself. I've done the hard work and packed all my tips into this ultimate travel guide. Whether you're a first-time traveler, on a tight budget, or traveling by yourself or with kids, these tips work for anyone. After watching this video, you'll know exactly what to do to have the best time in this amazing city. Before you buy your tickets, you'll first need to decide on when to visit Milan. Most tourists visit Milan during the summer months of July and August, not just for the hot and sunny weather, but also because it's the summer holidays. However, because most people visit around this time, ticket prices will be at their peak. That's why I'd recommend visiting Milan between April and June, or September and October. April in particular tends to offer warm weather and fewer crowds, which often means cheaper flights and a better chance of scoring a great deal. Plus, temperatures can reach a pleasant 24.7 degrees Celsius around May, so your sunglasses can also go into your backpack. On the other hand, if you want to visit Milan during the Christmas season, expect large crowds and prices similar to summer, but it'll be worth it as Milan is so beautiful and enjoyable even in the winter months. Just be sure to pack a nice warm jacket and you'll be all set. Now that you've decided when to travel, let's talk about how to get there. Milan is served by three main airports: Malpensa, the largest and main hub for international flights, Linate, which handles domestic and some European routes, and Bergamo, located about 50 kilometers from the city, popular with low-cost airlines. Now, if you plan on visiting Milan from Italy's neighboring countries or Central Europe, buses would be a better option than planes, or even better, getting there with your car. I'd also recommend taking the train if you're traveling from other parts of Italy and stop at Milano Centrale. And for those who live in or around Split in Croatia, consider taking a ferry to Ancona and then driving for around 3 hours to Milan, as it'll save you a good chunk of time. Alright, now that you're in Milan, you're gonna need to find a place to stay. But wait, shouldn't you have done that before you even bought the tickets? You can either get a hotel and pay more for things like breakfast and a swimming pool, or save some money by getting an apartment. For an apartment or a hotel, it will cost you anywhere from 580 to 1,000 euros for a 7-night stay in July. However, if you choose a hotel or apartment outside the city center, you might actually be ending up spending more time and money on public transport than you might want, especially when traveling around Milan at peak time hours. Instead, staying in an apartment in central Milan will help you get the most out of your trip. With the main tourist attractions close together, you'll save both time and money by relying less on public transportation. If you're a younger traveler, being located in the center of this city is a must, as 90% of Milan's nightlife is located in and around Cerchia dei Navigli, which is an area in the strict center of Milan. Now, there's only one more thing you need to figure out before setting foot to explore Milan. That's how to get around the city. If you're going to Milan with your car, I advise you to find free public parking, park it, and forget about it. You don't want to waste your time, and getting around central Milan with a car isn't a good idea. The whole of central Milan is walkable, and I don't know anyone who would rather sit in a car and struggle to find a parking spot rather than walk through the breathtaking streets of this city. On top of that, most tourist spots are located in this area, so there's no need to use any other transportation than your legs whilst in the city center. However, if you want to visit places outside the center, your best bet would be using a metro or a bus. If you have some extra money to spend, then getting a taxi is also a good choice. And for my friends around the world, don't worry, Uber is also a thing in Milan. A single metro ticket costs €2.20, but you can save with a 24-hour ticket for €7.60 or a 10-ticket bundle for €19.50. Bus ticket prices are similar, with the added option of a 3-day ticket for around €15. This 3-day pass is a great deal if you plan to sightsee, visit museums, or simply explore Milan on foot. As someone living in London, these prices almost felt illegal. I'm so used to tapping my card and getting charged nearly half my rent just for a few stops. Now, I think all that traveling and walking around has got me craving for a bit of food. So let's grab something to eat. Eating in Milan, as well as in the whole of Italy, can be your biggest expense if you don't choose wisely. However, you can't visit and leave Milan without trying some of the best cuisine in the world, especially panzerotto. Think of it as a fried calzone packed with tomato and gooey mozzarella. Just a couple of meters from the Duomo, you can find Panzerotti Luini, a legendary panzerotto spot established in 1888. It's so good that you'll probably find a lineup outside the store, but trust me, it's worth the wait. At around 3 to 4 euros per piece, it's cheap, filling, and super delicious. The first time I was in Milan, I couldn't go a day without eating at least one. There are many other panzerotto places in Milan, but if you ask me, Luini is the one. I know you're waiting for pizza, so here we go. If you type in Pizza Milan on your Google Maps, you'll have tens of pizzerias pop up on your screen. Considering you're in Italy, I'm pretty sure it's hard to mess this up and go somewhere they serve bad pizza. But just to be safe, here's my recommendation for super tasty and crazy cheap pizza. Pizzeria Spontini. Located in the heart of the city center, this pizzeria serves a beautiful pizza with crusty, fluffy, and airy edges. Prices start at around 5 euros, and you don't even have to get a whole pizza, as Spontini also sells them per slice. Now, if you want to treat yourself, or your partner or family, to a luxurious dinner without spending 150 euros, wait till the evening and take them to Trattoria Madonnina. Not only will you eat some of Italy's most delicious pasta for 10 euros, but you'll feel like all your ancestors were Italian. After visiting these places, I'd be lying if I said mine weren't. The interior of this restaurant hasn't changed in decades. Old wooden chairs, red and white checkered tablecloths, and incredibly delicious food. Yum yum! A dinner for two here shouldn't cost more than 25 to 30 euros. Milan also offers a huge aperitivo scene. These are places where you get a drink and then help yourself to a buffet, free of charge. Basically, you pay for a drink and then get access to a variety of tasty food, meaning that for only around 10 euros, you'll get a cocktail and then any food available. Oh, and one of the best aperitivo places I recommend visiting is La Hora Feliz. It's also located in the city center, so getting there won't be a problem. However, if you end up feeling like having a super nice dinner, Ristorante Craccio is a place to go. Ristorante Craccio is located in the middle of a city center, only a 3-minute walk from La Scala Theater. Dining in this restaurant will definitely boost your ego, as you'll feel like a millionaire while eating roasted lamb with smoked olive tree wood. It doesn't get any better than that, and best of all, that lamb dish will cost you 45 euros, which isn't even that much. Just be careful, as there are some items on the menu that don't have prices. I don't even have to tell you to stay away from those. Now that we've filled our stomachs with all the delicious food and drinks, let's check out some of the tourist attractions you must see with your own eyes. We'll first start off with Milan's main attraction, and if you haven't seen this place, you're missing out. This is the Milan Cathedral, or better known as the Duomo di Milano. Construction of this cathedral began back in 1386 and finished in 1965. So, according to my calculations, it took about 579 years to complete. Unbelievable, right? But that's not all. The Duomo di Milano is also home to 3,400 statues, making it the church with the most statues in the world. That is insane when you think about it. Now, just a 15-minute walk away from here is the Santa Maria delle Grazie, which is also a church. Inside, you'll find one of the world's most famous paintings, Leonardo da Vinci's The Last Supper, which refers to the final meal Jesus shared with his apostles in Jerusalem before his crucifixion, as described in the Gospels. However, to get into Santa Maria delle Grazie Church, you'll have to book your tickets a couple of weeks before your trip, as they keep it super organized there, and I mean super organized. Next up is a place you'd visit even if you had no clue it existed. That's because I'm talking about the Sforza Castle and the Sempione Park, located in the center of the city and so big that it's impossible for it to go unseen. Sforza Castle at first served as a place where the Imperial Roman army stayed. Throughout history, it had many purposes, but today it's a huge museum featuring works by Michelangelo and Da Vinci. Right next to this castle, there's a block called the Brera District. This place is known as an artist neighborhood, and it's home to an academy, an art gallery, a botanical garden, an astronomical observatory, and a library. On top of that, Brera is filled with restaurants, bars, nightclubs, antique and art shops, colorful street markets, as well as fortune tellers' exclusive booths. Just a reminder, all of the stuff I just mentioned is situated on a single street, so you'll be able to spend at least an hour or two exploring this street alone. Now that's super cool if you ask me. If you've managed to explore Brera District and have a bit of extra time on your hands, I advise you to head one street south, where you'll find Galleria Vittorio Emanuele II. This place is a joy to wander through with nothing on your mind. It's like therapy for the soul. It's also free to visit, and it's open 24/7, so it's a must-see. Now, if there's one place on this list that I'd personally recommend you visit, that's the Teatro alla Scala. It has been hosting operas and ballets since 1778, and it's one of those places where old money style doesn't stand out. If you visit it, the chances you'll see a lady with those tiny binoculars are high. For those of you who really want to visit this place, you can book a guided tour on their official website. I had the chance to go, and oh my goodness, this place is incredible. You have to see it for yourself. There are many more attractions tourists rush to visit while they're in Milan, but in order to keep this video concise, we have to move on. Before we do that though, I'll suggest one more thing you need to visit during your night walk: the Navigli district, or Navigli canals to be more precise. This is the ideal place for a romantic evening stroll along the city's waterways. Walking down the street, you'll feel like you're in Amsterdam or Venice for a moment. I mean, look at it. It looks stunning. Feels like it's a place that's taken straight out of a movie. Now, Milan isn't just a city filled with historical places and amazing landmarks, it's also the fashion capital of Italy. So, when in Milan, dress like Milan! Sorry about that. If you're a fashion lover, you'd better prepare your wallet, because when you get to Galleria Vittorio Emanuele II, all you'll see are the biggest brands in the world of fashion, such as Dior and Prada. However, this is just the beginning, as two streets next to the gallery are where Quadrilatero della Moda is located. Translated to the Golden Rectangle, this is a luxury shopping district where all the big brands display their latest collections. However, considering that a purse or even a basic shirt in this place can cost the same price as an Apple MacBook Pro M4 Max, your bank account will need to be significantly loaded to be able to shop there. The good news is, there are also quite a good number of affordable shops around, especially in Corso Buenos Aires, Europe's longest shopping street. This place has a huge variety of stores to shop from. You'll be able to get some new shirts without breaking the bank at all. And when someone asks you where you got that shirt from, you'll be able to answer by simply saying Milan with a smirk on your face. In the end, you won't spend too much money on accommodation, food, visiting all the mentioned attractions, and even buying yourself a shirt or two. But let's get over a couple more things before I disclose the total amount of money you'll need for this trip. And if you want something truly unique, explore the vintage shops around Porta Ticinese, or the Sunday flea market along the Navigli canals. Here, you can get some vintage leather items, handmade jewelry, and quirky souvenirs you won't find anywhere else. Now, keep in mind, some of these stores can be super expensive, but there are also ones where you can get a pretty nice souvenir for a couple of euros. Oh, and one more thing. If you see a store selling glass accessories and sculptures, be very careful. I wouldn't run, but be very careful. A single glass figure can cost up to 100 euros, and these stores are packed with them, making it really easy to bump one off the shelf onto the floor and walk out empty-handed with 100 euros less from your wallet. And now we finally get to the most fun part, entertainment. As the sun sets, Milan transforms. But literally, the city comes alive with music, theater, sports, cocktails, and conversations in one of the most beautiful sounding languages. If you're after nightlife and clubbing, some of the best rated clubs in Milan are just Cavalli, Alcatraz, or Plastic. These are the kinds of places where all of a sudden you'll be dancing to Pitbull's hits and completely forget that you visited Milan because of its historical culture. And if you want to take it easy, you've got bars like Blue Note Milano or Santeria Toscana 31, where you'll be listening to live jazz music while drinking your Aperol Spritz. That's not all that happens here. There are many other events and festivals going on at any time. You can plan your trip around Milan Fashion Week, Design Week, or the Milano Film Festival if you want to see the city at its most electric, as these events bring the world's creatives to town and result in parties that end up being remembered for years to come. Milan is also home to two of the most historical football teams in the world, AC Milan and Inter Milan. Both teams play their home games at the iconic San Siro. And let me tell you, this place is filled with history and quite a lot of Champions League trophies too. I highly recommend that you come here when AC Milan and Inter Milan play against each other. I'll let you see how crazy the atmosphere is here. Now we've also got a few things you, your friend, and family can enjoy too. You can visit Trap Milano, which is a super fun pirate-styled escape room. Go to Zero Gravity, which is a place filled with amazing trampolines. Visit Leonardo da Vinci's 3D museum, play airsoft, and even fly a plane. Not literally, but there's a place with professional simulation equipment that lets you experience what it's like to fly a Boeing 737. I was serious when I said Milan has it all. And as I promised at the beginning of the video, now you know how to have a safe and super fun trip in Milano while visiting some of Europe's most historical places. Experiencing all the things we talked about shouldn't cost you more than 1,700 euros, plane tickets not included. However, this number can easily be circled at around 1,000 euros if you ask me. That's completely reasonable for a 7-day stay at Milan. Feel free to comment your opinion down below. Lastly, once you visit Milan, don't rush, take it easy, and try not to sweat while walking.